welcome to the first recording of Creeper World 3 Arc Eternal. This is a game from a company called Knucklecracker. I originally found this game actually on a website called Kongregate. It was just a Flash game that was built there. And, well, not built there, but it was, yeah, it's on that site. It's a pretty cool game, in my opinion. It's pretty fun. Basically what it is it's a simulation almost of fluid dynamics and kind of fighting against it. So kind of the point of the game is you build up a base structure and then you're trying to fight back against these things, which actually generate a fluid known as Creeper, I think is the full name. And what it does is it just kind of slowly proliferates and destroys everything that it comes in contact with. And your job is to prevent that from happening. And in this game, it's actually to destroy all of the nodes that produce it. In previous games, you weren't able to destroy them. What you actually had to do was you had to just kind of escape from it. But in this newest version, newest game in the series, you're actually able to destroy the producers and actually save the planets. So what I'm doing now is I'm just basically building these things called collectors. They're how you actually generate energy. Well, one of the ways you generate energy. So energy is how you kind of do everything in this game. These collectors themselves, if you notice, they have that white kind of circle around them. What that is that's how much area they can cover. The more area they cover, the more energy they produce. You have to if you don't have enough energy, then things start taking a lot longer, like when you're trying to build these. So like I'm just placing down where I want them to actually be built. They're not actually built until they get enough things like called packets. And then once they have enough packets, then they're created and they will allow me to generate more energy from there. Actually do this there. This is the main base, their command center. They store the energy inside of themselves, and then they kind of send them out as packets to build. They are very important, the most important structure of everything. And how things get around is those little lines between them. That's how the packets kind of flow to each of the different areas. Now, there's 3 bases that I can drop. You don't necessarily need to drop all 3 of them in each stage. The benefits of it are you can have separate areas. So like I could put this one, well, there's not really a good place to put it elsewhere in this map. But if there was, I could put it elsewhere. And it would be its own separate base. It would draw from the collectors that are around it and just generate the energy and build and everything else like that. If you combine all 3 of them together in some way, shape, or form, so in this case, they'll all be connected with these collectors that are around them, then it actually shares the energy between the different bases, and so you don't have to worry about anything there. So it's paused right now, so I can just kind of start setting up. And setup is very important. I'm actually going to be deactivating a lot of these. I just want to kind of set them up ahead of time. And you'll notice that I have them in kind of close places where they overlap in certain cases. That's either for to make connections better elsewhere, to make sure that I cover as much area as possible. And if you notice, like from here to here, this is a topographical map. And so this and this elevations, they're different. Now the white circle, if I hover over, like here, you'll notice that half of it's red. That means that this one won't actually get to that red area. It'll only cover what's white. And so I have to put them closer to each other if I'm going up or down elevations, just to make sure that I get as much as possible. Now we're going to, since this is kind of the first video, we'll just kind of start with the basics, and then we'll move on to higher stuff later on. So the most basic weapon that you have against your fight against the creep is the cannon. It just shoots little laser beams. It cannot shoot upwards, so it can't shoot from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. It can shoot from a higher elevation to a lower elevation, but yeah, that's about it. It's a pretty small area that it covers, but it shoots really fast, and it can be very helpful for keeping the creep back. We'll also probably do some mortars in the stage and nullifiers. Mortars are exactly as they sound. They shoot a kind of bullet at any range, within the white circle, and they can go up and down elevations with all they want. So there's no issues from that perspective. And then the nullifiers, those are the things that actually kind of stop these things, the creep spawners. They'll actually destroy them. We can't do anything with them yet, but we'll get to them in just a little bit. Again, since this is kind of the first one, I'll just kind of keep it very basic. And before I start, I'll need to deactivate a bunch of these so that I don't overload my system. As I was saying, these things, they send out packets. These orbitals, they send out packets. And if you're sending out more packets than you have energy, then they go really, really, really slowly. It'll be one packet maybe every 2 or 3 seconds. Whereas if you only send out as many packets as you have energy, or if you have more energy than the packets you're sending out, it'll send them out probably once every second, maybe even a little bit faster. So just want to deactivate some of these until I get some more energy, and then just kind of activate them slowly so that I quickly get some of these collectors built up. And then once the collectors are built up, then I can have enough energy to do other stuff. Okay, so that looks okay. I'm only deactivating the things right around the orbitals, because once those are kind of done, I mean, again, too many of these around it will slow it down, but once they start getting picked up and start picking up speed, then it should be okay. Maybe just a few collectors here, and of course I can build throughout the level, but it's good to just kind of get a base sort of built out, laid out first, and then start up after that. Okay, so there should be about 5 collectors in range. Actually, these might be in range too. Having this many weapons is going to be fairly killer. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to win this one on the first try, but we'll try our best. Well, actually I'll start and then I'll kind of talk about some of these other things that will happen in other later videos. Okay, so we start out, they drop down from the skies, and they start sending out their packets to create these things. Okay, so that one's now done. That one's done, so I can send out, let's activate these two, and this one. Now this one too. Again, they're sharing the energy, so every single time a collector comes online, more and more of this power is available to all 3 of them, so that all 3 of them can send out the packets. Let's activate this. So I'm going to need that one out fairly quickly. Okay, and we'll need this one soon, and this one soon. and each of these little white dots, they're packets for building. If there's different colors for different things. For like objective capturing, so this one is going to be an objective that I can capture. As it sends packets to this, it'll be charging it with energy, which will be green. Same thing with these, which I'll get into in just a little bit. They also would have green energy going to them. Weapons, when they're built, they require weapon energy to fire. And that is actually a red colored packet, which we'll show you in just a little bit. Okay, so everything's going so far, so good. Let me activate some more of these to increase the speed at which the collectors are being built. That one. Activate this one. And see, there's one of the green packets. It's most likely going to be going towards that. Follow it. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so now my cannon's built, and it can start shooting. Now, one thing that's pretty cool with this game is that all the weapon buildings are able to fly. So they're able to move to where they need to be. So as I keep pushing the creep back, I don't have to keep building new ones. I mean, I might if I need to kind of have more of them out, but as a first kind of area, I can just keep moving them around, and only if I need to spread out or if I need to have more out there do I need to build any more. Okay, so that's going to be captured. That's almost built. One thing is that a full building, besides collectors and relays and some more of these kind of structures, so if you notice there's structures, weapons, titans, and orbitals. Orbitals are just these three. Structures, there's quite a number, and these two will be instantly destroyed, and I think these two will be instantly... Okay, so these 5, I think, are going to be instantly destroyed if they're touched by this stuff, by the creeper. But weapons and some of the hardier buildings, they can take a number more hits, so that they won't just be instantly destroyed. They'll just kind of take damage over time. And again, there's a bunch of weapons here. Titans are the same. And it just kind of slowly drains their health. But if they're not built yet, so like if they're still this gray color, they will be instantly destroyed if the creeper touches them. And so that's why I was really a little worried here, because this one wasn't quite built, but the creeper was getting pretty close. Luckily it was built in time, so we do have a little bit more leg room, wiggle room. So now that these are we're kind of catching up. So if you notice up here, our energy is going up because we've now built most everything. And so unless I start spam building again, or if these kind of weapons take more energy, then we should be okay on energy for now. And it should be fairly mundane at this point. I'll just be holding the creep back until I can get to a stable level. Once I have the stable level in place, then I should be able to start pushing back. It's basically just kind of getting to a good state and then moving forward. Okay, and so I have my mortar built, my first mortar built. And so if you notice, it just kind of shoots a lot slower than the cannons, of course, because it's a mortar. And it just kind of shoots one shot every once in a while. And things are looking okay. Let's activate this one. And okay. So even with all of them activated, things are looking good still. That's awesome. I'm probably a little bit overkill. But as the game progresses, I'm probably going to have more energy requirements, so just kind of build up while I have the time. And again, these collectors also act as a kind of connector. If I don't have a connection, then, and I sent one of these weapons out, they do have that red bar, so let's actually zoom in a little bit. They do have a red bar that shows how much... that's weird. My controls aren't working. They do have a red bar over the top of them, which shows how much weapon energy they have stored up. And if I send them like out in the middle, or if I take them away from the connection, so right here, if you see there's no connection to it, if I sent them there, they would shoot until they ran out of weapon energy. But after that point, unless I connected them again, they wouldn't have any way of getting the energy that they need to continue firing. And I'll kind of figure out what's going on with my map controls in a little bit. Well, before the next video. So I have now gotten to a good state. So I'm actually going to move these things forward. Now I don't want to do it too quickly or too many at the same time, because if I do, then I could lose the defenses that I'm already having, which are keeping everything at bay. But things that aren't shooting are obviously things that I can just move around without any issue. So, and here I'm going to move it into the creep, but it should be able to push back the creep enough. Okay, it didn't even need to, because this one, when I moved that one, it was going to be pushing it back enough. But yeah, I really like this game. Kind of the concept of it is really intriguing to me. I like the fluid dynamics component of it. I think it's really well done. And they're actually, again, this is the third one, but they also have a first one and a second one. I do like the third one a bit better than the second and third one, second and first one, just because you are able to destroy the spawners this time. The first ones were fun, but kind of a lot of the joy I enjoy and kind of the joy and fun I have is to build up the base and make it kind of crazy with how much stuff I can do with it. So I might completely trap all these creep spawners into a very small amount that they are spawning, and then it's just instantly destroyed, and then I'll probably fill the rest of the map with these reactors, which just generate energy per second. So right now I'm at 19.9 per second, and I'll actually speed this up because I've already won. It's just the creep doesn't know it yet. So it was at 19.9, now it's at 21.5, and so a lot of times I actually create hundreds, if not thousands, of those ones, just for fun. Okay, so these ones are not firing at all, so move them forward. That one's still firing, this one's not. That one would be still firing, okay. And kind of another cool thing about this game that I really like is that it's not like you have a building kind of out there and then it just kind of builds itself over time. It does require you to kind of protect the buildings. It requires you to keep making advancements forward. And when I get some other things, you'll actually see that you can actually upgrade the buildings. Well, not the buildings themselves, but you can upgrade different aspects of the world. Yeah, to me, it's a really fun game. I'd really kind of suggest people check it out. It's pretty cool. I will have the link to the developer's webpage in the description. But also, I mean, the games are on Steam as well, so you can just, well, the third one is on Steam. And so you can buy it there and include it on your Steam library. Now this level is pretty easy, but there are certain levels that do get fairly kind of complex and harder. So this one's a fairly small map, but it doesn't have much kind of creep spawn. So it's a fairly quick, easy win for me. Let's see. Since I have some time while they're pushing back the creep, actually, do I need to? No, I'm gaining ground, so I don't need to build anything more at this point. As those things are kind of pushing back a little bit, let's talk about these things and these things. So these are actually something called ore. What the ore does is if I have an ore mine on it, I'll actually kind of show that off. It actually generates something called ore, anti-creep. And if you notice here it is underneath the energy, there's a new bar called AC, which stands for anti-creep. There is one specific weapon called the sprayer that actually uses that anti-creep as the ammo source. And so basically, as the anti-creep's generated, it'll if I have some sprayers out, they'll actually fire the anti-creep back, and it acts just like the normal creep, but it's on my side, and so it won't actually hurt me if I try to put stuff onto it. Okay? So that's that. Let's move this forward, and then let's actually get to nullifying the first thing. So a nullifier acts just like other weapons, in that it has a range and everything else like that. What you do with it is you have to put it within range of one of these creep spawners, or there's other things later on that are also kind of bad. And so what you have to do is you put the nullifier in range of it. After it's finished building, it'll start charging up with weapon energy, and we'll get back to it in just a minute. Let's talk about these things real fast. These are totems. What they do is they actually power something called the forge. So if I built a forge, it would actually give me another option, which allows me to upgrade things. And so, there it goes. So it shoots a little beam at the forge. The forge picks those up, and it will give me an extra point of upgrade power. As time goes on, these, if you notice, the level is 1.0. As time goes on and as they're powered, that level will actually go up over time. And it'll become faster and faster. Right now it's just fairly slow. It's once every second or something that it generates, and then later on it will get a lot faster. Those will be very important kind of in later levels, but again, I just want to kind of start out fairly simple. There's quite a bit in this game to go over. So, the nullifier, it destroyed the creep spawner, and it left behind this glowing circle. Now, the cool thing is that that glowing circle actually upgrades whatever I put in it. So if I put a collector in it, normally it's got that big of a size around it. If I put it in here, suddenly the size is insane. Okay? Same thing goes for any of these. Like if I put a reactor inside of there, it would suddenly have a lot more power being generated every second. But if you put a weapon in, it increases the range and the attack speed. So if you notice, these shoot like maybe once, like 6 or 7 times per second. This is shooting like, I don't know, 20 to 30 times per second. It's insanely fast. It's even more fun with mortar. Mortars are great. and very important. Mortars are fairly important. So it's just like going crazy with shooting it. Okay, but let's actually get this kind of finished up, and then we'll end the video after we finish this one level. Anything else I can think of? I guess we can talk about this a little bit as they're pushing back a little bit more. So if you notice, each of these has a different amount and a different interval. Now, I honestly don't know which is which. I don't know if it's a lower interval means that it's a faster spawning of the creep, or if it's the other way around. I think that it's how many times per second. I could be wrong. But basically, however it is, each one is going to be producing a little bit different amounts, and you can kind of visually see that. It's really hard with kind of the fluid dynamics of this game to truly understand how much is there. You can try. I mean, you can kind of see it, and I'm sure that others who play this game more seriously will definitely have a better view into this. But I'm kind of a casual gamer of it. But if you notice down at the bottom of the screen, so right here, this shows me the elevation. So wherever my mouse hovers, it actually shows me how much elevation I have of it. Now, if I hover over this, you'll see that on the upper right, it now has like a 21, 19, 23, 20, 20, so on and so forth. That actually is telling me how much elevation of creep there is. See that blue bar above those yellow bars? That's saying, hey, there's this much elevation of land, which is the yellow bars, and then everything above that is how much creep there is. And so that's a way that you can kind of tell how much kind of creep there is in a given area, and you can use that to kind of figure out how much creep is being generated if you want it to go that much into it. Okay, now I'm getting close to the second one, and we'll actually turn up the speed, and we'll just start finishing this game. Moving forward. Okay, that still has range that it can go into. So I'm just moving things in closer so that I can get kind of quicker access to those others. Again, I still have to create collectors. I mean, I could use relays, but you know, I don't really care for them that much. So I rarely build them unless I'm actually needing them. They do allow the packets to move faster going through them, and they do go over wider gaps. So instead of having to have things as close, I can actually build them a little bit further away and still reach. Okay, so there's that nullifier. Close am I to this one? Oh, pretty close. Now the only weapon, oh well, there's a few weapons that don't allow you to do the same thing don't allow you to move them, the nullifier is one of those weapons. It literally just nullifies, and once it's nullified, then it destroys itself. And it also, again, doesn't move. So once I place it, it's placed. And I can't actually even place it until I have a target for it. Okay, so move this one closer. And this should be the game. Oh, one other thing, kind of an optimization, is that you can actually select multiple of them by double-clicking or by doing a selection by left-clicking and dragging. And so I can select multiple things at once. Nullifiers don't have an upper limit of how many things they can destroy at once, as long as they're within range. Actually, let me destroy that. No, it'll have to be this one. Actually, use this as the nullifier. As long as it's within range, then the nullifier will destroy it. Unfortunately, that one can only reach one. Yeah, that's fine. We can do this. We'll use them against each other. It'll be fun. Yeah, I really like this game. I'd really suggest checking it out. And with this, we'll kind of call the video to an end. There are a ton of levels in this. There's a fairly expansive single-player campaign. Well, I mean, it's all single-player, but like story that goes along with this. And then there's a ton of kind of user-created levels as well. So again, I'd suggest checking it out if it looked interesting. But yeah, I'll try and make some more of these, and I'll be doing some other things as well. We'll see you guys later.